We are live. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Q&A. I wasn't on last week, but Robbie did do one on our empirical training channel. Posted in all the places just to say I'm going live. So live on my YouTube channel, Andrew Cyber Jones, and also on my company's empirical training YouTube channel. How is everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. So as always, jump in on your asking any of your cybersecurity questions or any of your questions in general that you've got for me. You can literally ask me anything. While I do that, I'm also going to be playing Ghost of Tsushima, because if some of you haven't got any questions, maybe you just like watching me game. And it's also a good time for me to actually game as well. I don't tend to get too much time to do it.
Do you think I was too harsh? I'm hardly one to judge, but no, it's what you needed to hear. Let's find the performers.
Can you hear me okay?
Close to the spider
You're doing
without
good.
a mask.
I'm doing good. And yourself? Kushug Manshish? Cooking 789 might be a stupid question, but do you only help people that already have degrees? No, we help anybody that is trying to get into cybersecurity. Let me show you. We've actually got experience helping people without previous experience, without a degree. These are just some of the people that we've met, that we've helped. Natasha didn't have a cybersecurity degree. Ian didn't have a cybersecurity degree. I think Georgina had a master's in software engineering, but there was a little bit of cybersecurity in it, but she was a mechanical engineer before that. Bartosz, he was a software developer. I can't remember if he had a cybersecurity degree. I don't think he did. There's, if I go into some of our testimonials as well. Hey bro. Hey Simon, hope you're doing well. Glad everybody's on. Sounds like you can hear me okay, which is good. We help anybody that wants to be helped, to be honest. Anybody who's got the passion for cybersecurity. Majority of the people that we've helped haven't got cybersecurity degrees. So these are just some more of the people that we've helped as well. This is Ali, for example, landed the role of a cybersecurity analyst. But good question. But the answer is you don't just have degrees. Degrees aren't as helpful these days. If you're pursuing a degree at the moment, it's still a good thing to get, but what we're seeing now is that employers aren't really caring about them as much. Even when I do interviews, even when the other mentors that I work with do interviews, it's rare that they're often asking about the degree. Like what I'm seeing as for degrees now, they give you the good fundamental experience, but everybody is getting a degree now. There's kind of still difficult to land a job, and a degree isn't enough anymore. Even just certifications on their own aren't enough. But I personally would go down the certification route. If you're already doing a degree already, don't worry, continue the degree. But you're also probably going to want to do some certifications and home projects as well. You playing Ghost? Sorry, it's not Ghost of Tsushima. It's actually Ghost of Yotai. But yeah, I'm playing on PS5. Harvey. So Sashin on YouTube, where to start in web security? Is there any future scope in web security? What is? Do you mean web application security? Because there definitely is a future in web application security. So that's more your kind of application security, or AppSec is so often called, so like AppSec jobs. If you want to go more into like the AppSec role, that's definitely a big area. You can see application security, AppSec engineer, application security engineer. But this is more of, I wouldn't say it's that a beginner role. Probably definitely heavily influence on understanding how web applications work. So maybe understanding different scripting languages. This one's asking for Python. As you can see here, this is asking for understanding Postgres databases, iOS. But yeah, everything is an application these days. So if it is web application firewall that you're thinking of, then definitely, yeah, that kind of role is definitely very popular. Like AppSec itself is kind of its own department, I would say. So Simon, I've recently been just transferred over to empirical training with no previous experience, except for previous employment using basic IT skills. This online company is amazing. Get signed up. I appreciate that, Simon. I know you're kind of one of our biggest advocates, and I appreciate it. It's been great working with you. I can tell already that you're somebody that has the drive for it, and I could see that you would be somebody that I would happily work with on a daily basis. So yeah, I really appreciate the kind words. Yo, Edler on Instagram. I'm doing my Security Plus next week. Already have Network Plus, doing some home labs. What would you do from there? Really good question. So might not get too much of a chance to play Ghost of Yota now because we've got too many good questions. So this is the pathway that we take people down. It's of course tailored to different situations. Not everybody has to go through the same path, but for you, congrats on getting your Network Plus. It's not an easy exam to pass. There's a lot of content in there that can sometimes be a little bit off-putting because it's so heavily network focused, and a lot of the concepts that you likely won't use every single day as a cybersecurity professional, but you still need to have a good understanding of and a good fundamentals of networks, because ultimately cybersecurity is about trying to protect those networks. So yeah, getting back into it then, you're doing, you said Network Plus, Security Plus next week, so good luck for that exam. I'm sure if you pass Network Plus, Security Plus will be just fine. What you're going to want to do then is start to think about the jobs that you're interested in. So heavy focus on probably the role of a cybersecurity analyst, I would suggest. Depends what you want to go down. So this is where you want to think about what roles you want to do. So whether you want to go more into maybe if you want to go into more into engineering, then that's a different pathway. If you want to go more into maybe application security or more into red teaming, then again, this is what you want to think about what you want to do. We only suggest the role of a cybersecurity analyst because we see is currently at the moment there seems to be more jobs asking for the role of a cybersecurity analyst. There's a lot of roles asking for your kind of DevSecOps as well. That's more engineering. But if you prefer your kind of blue team defensive roles, trying to stop hackers, trying to perform instant response, these kind of things are going to be more your kind of blue teaming role. And this is where you're focusing on the skills related to the job role. So I'm a instant response analyst. Part of that role does focus on your kind of cybersecurity analyst style skills as well. So this is the pathway that my company takes people down, but it's also a pathway that I've personally done myself as well. So but this is where I always say I don't ever want to force anybody to go down a pathway that I suggest, but this is just the one I recommend based on how we're currently seeing kind of the job market at the moment. Yes, parts of this role are being automated, but there's opportunities to learn things like AI and automation in the role of a cybersecurity analyst to help yourself stand out. So what I'm trying to say here is pick the job role and focus on the skills just related to that job. Because if you do that, then you're not going to try and learn everything. And as soon as you try to learn everything, you're just going to get overwhelmed. So have a think about the job role. Personally, for you, probably SOC analyst, cybersecurity analyst would make sense. Look at these skills here. Take a screenshot of this. I've got YouTube videos that talk about each one of these skills in more detail. Do your home projects that relate to each one of these areas. So setting up your own SIEM at home, doing some cloud attack and defense kind of stuff. I've got labs in our community as well. So we do have a free community, which is called CyberHub, and it's at school.com/cybersec. We've got some free labs in here, in here as well to kind of get you started with some of the projects. But if you wanted to chat more about with what Simon was talking about, which is our full apprenticeship, drop me a message in here. We can kind of chat through that. But yeah, doing home labs for you, tailoring it towards the job that you're going for. So focus on your security plus, and then think about what job you want after that. How do you keep up to date with the latest security trends? It's probably not the best answer, but personally for me, I've always found it quite good that like the teams that I've been working for, people that I surround myself in the industry, are constantly doing their own research. I pick up a lot of information from other colleagues. Like we have internal channels. If we found out new information, then we'll post it in there. So that's a good place for research. I actually think Twitter and X is a really good place. Start following security researchers on there. I don't know if I made a post about that. X accounts to follow. But yeah, go on to X and type in DFIR accounts, and there'll be some really good accounts that you can follow on there. Other websites like the Hacker News is quite good. Hacker News, this is really good. But yeah, a lot of it is from kind of day-to-day during work, and I know if you're a beginner trying to get into it, that probably doesn't really help. But I would say that secondly, probably X is probably the best place. Twitter, following security researchers is a really good way to stay up to date, because they're often publishing a lot of stuff before any of these news websites are actually publishing them. Podcasts, so I really like the Black Hills Information Security podcast. They do like a weekly podcast about security news. That's a really good one. So Sachin, as I'm a cybersecurity student, currently a fourth year bachelor student, as I also worked as a SOC analyst for 10 months, like, could you help me with which path I should go down? So you've already worked as a SOC analyst for 10 months, or is that like an internship? What certification do I do until I complete my bachelor? Like, I'm a bit confused regarding my career. So you're a cybersecurity student, so that's good. You've already done a stint as a SOC analyst for 10 months. So I would just go back into that pathway and focus on some of the things that you did there. So if you come back here, likely you've done a lot of these already. Maybe start looking into going back into a full-time role as a cybersecurity analyst if you've already got that experience already. Yes, internship. I'm an associate SOC analyst right now. Oh, I see. So you're thinking about where to go after that. So you've only been doing it for 10 months. So I like your commitment and the drive to kind of move further. So in the pathway, once you land that role, we recommend people do look to specialize further if that's what you want to do. But you're in a good position. You're working as a cybersecurity analyst. Have a think about, like, you're in a good position. Are you building the experience? What do you enjoy most about the SOC analyst role? Do you like the kind of instant response style stuff that you do? If so, do you want to go more into a dedicated instant response role? Do you want to do it forensics? Because I assume maybe you're doing some endpoint analysis at the moment. Are you doing any kind of forensics? Are you doing any kind of cloud-based forensics? Explain a little bit more about what you're doing as a SOC analyst, and then it might help me understand what path you want to go down. But it's also going to come to you. What do you enjoy the most? You could go into like an AI security engineer. You could go into a red teamer. You could go into maybe more application security. Maybe you want to go into DevSecOps and start building like secure infrastructure. You've got a really good position now with the experience that you've got. And once you pick the part of the career that you want to move into next, you're already in a cybersecurity company. Start working closely with the team that do the job that you want to do. But yeah, you're in a good position. So I know a lot of people say this, to be fair, it's quite getting into cybersecurity it can be difficult, but once you get in, the kind of different pathways aren't always that clear. Like, you can go from SOC analyst to senior SOC analyst to manager, but then from there you usually do then have to jump into maybe another path. And there's good and bad that comes with that. Like, the good thing is that there is so many different jobs that you can kind of go for, but then the bad thing is that maybe you have to completely retrain and go into another area. But there's always good and bad. Canadian government clearance. I wanted to leverage that. I also have Canadian government clearance. I wanted to leverage that as well. Yeah, well, you could definitely do that. I'm pretty sure the Canadian government would likely have some kind of cybersecurity analyst roles that only need that only require people with clearance. So you could definitely use that. I'm based in the UK, so I don't know too much about like Canadian government and clearance and how that works, but it's quite similar to the UK. If you've got that clearance, it really will help you stand out. We have Natasha that I was showing. So Natasha, she was based in Canada. She's the first person that we helped land a job. We did that within 4 months. So got experience with helping people get jobs in Canada, but I unfortunately don't know too much about the government clearance. But we can probably see a good Canadian government cybersecurity clearance jobs. Cyber careers with the government of Canada. So we've got career opportunities. Yeah, they're all very probably similar to the UK. They're going to have like their own cybersecurity teams. Apply now. So yeah, like if you've got the clearance already, just look for roles that require clearance, and you're still going to need the skills that I've listed out already. But this is probably shared services team. Oh yeah, it's probably more these probably type of jobs then, look like instant response, maybe vulnerability management, forensics. So SSC team may be something for you to look into. So these are obviously different, I assume, like public bodies in the government of Canada. So yeah, you're in a good place. Hi there, I hope you're doing great. TAIMI Timey on Instagram. I just missed the first part of your live. I really want to know what skills are required to land a SOC analyst one role and what topics. Yeah, no worries. That's this year. So I'll give you a couple of seconds, maybe take a screenshot of this. Focus on the skills. These are definitely the skills that I would recommend. Also, what AI skills should I learn? Yeah, good question. So should we find to show all this? I'll see it's on my YouTube channel anyway. This one here. So this is kind of where I'm seeing the Security Operations Center change. And this is not theory. These are actually things that I work on a daily basis. I've seen the SOC manager have their kind of team lead, human, but maybe more you could see as like an AI team lead who manages human analysts who are more senior, and also AI agents and human engineers. So the human senior analyst has some AI agents that help with things like threat hunting, threat intelligence, analyzing emails. So maybe typical cybersecurity analyst tasks, but can be made more efficient with the help of these AI agents. There'll also be a specific AI agent that is working through maybe alerts, low-level alerts, maybe even taking some level 1 and level 2 decisions, and kind of assisting with the alert caseload. And then you might have your engineer who will also have a list of agents to help them do their tasks. Excuse me. So one really good thing I would look into, which is something that we teach in our apprenticeship as well, is the use of workflow automation tools. I've also got videos of these on my YouTube channel as well, is learning how to build these workflow automations in a security operations center, and using tools like Times to speed up certain processes. So like in this one, you can see it's creating a case, sending a message to Slack, looking up the IP, checking if it's malicious, and putting a block on the firewall. So these kind of tasks typically used to be done manually. We're seeing a lot more automation for the use of automation and AI and using these workflow automation tools. So automation has always been around, people who were able to kind of code and create scripts. Often Python was a big part of that. But now we're seeing the move to a lot of these kind of, they're called like no-code tools. And then beyond this as well is like building specific AI agents as well. within this. So this is definitely something I would look into in terms of AI skills. Another one would be MITRE Atlas. So what this is the MITRE attack framework, but it's specifically tailored towards machine learning tools. And what this is saying is the steps that an attacker will take when they're trying to compromise an AI-based tool. Then within that specific step, so you've got execution, for example, the attacker will try a particular technique, and then you've got each one of these techniques that they might try. So quite a popular one is prompt injection. This is going to tell you exactly what prompt injection is. It's going to give you some real world examples and how to mitigate this. So what we're trying to learn here then, because we're not going to be able to stop companies from wanting to introduce these AI tools. It's making them more efficient. Maybe it's going to make things more cost effective. So we have to embrace it as cybersecurity professionals and understand that these tools are being implemented on a daily basis. We just need to learn how to secure them. So not only do we need to learn how to secure them, we also need to learn how attackers are going to try to abuse them as well, so that we can detect and actually respond to it. So I would have a look at this as well. So Edler, does an analyst require any specific certification, or is Security Plus and Network Plus enough? So Security Plus and Network Plus, I would say, is enough. It's going to be probably more important for you to start just picking up the skills here. If you want another certification, there's one called by CompTIA. It's their COISA Plus. That's more tailored to the role of a cybersecurity analyst. But to be honest, if you want a more kind of hands-on experience of what it's like to be in the role of a cybersecurity professional, there's not too much out there. So I'm mostly shamelessly plugging us, but that's what my company, Empirical Training, do. They put you in an apprenticeship where you'll be able to work for my company. You'll be able to say that you've got experience as a cybersecurity analyst after working with my company, and we'll put you through training and labs to actually mimic the day-to-day job. So we actually have a pre-built lab, and in that lab there's live attack data coming into that lab, and you'll be responding to those alerts just like a cybersecurity analyst would do. Now, maybe there is certifications out there that do that maybe I'm not aware of, but the thing that we also give you access to as well is mentors. So if you're stuck with something, you need any help, we'll jump on calls together, we'll go through anything that you're struggling with. So it's that combination of the mentorship and the kind of certification, which we're not seeing like companies like CompTIA don't tend to offer that. It's more usually just the course and the certification. So a lot of what you're going to need to do is, for example, building your own SIEM at home, creating some detection rules, performing threat intelligence and threat hunting. Often what I see with certifications is that they just touch on each one of these. So you've probably seen it in Security Plus already. They just touch on like what this is. They don't actually really show you how to set it up step by step. They don't show you how to do threat intelligence or threat hunting, for example. So Security Plus and Network Plus is definitely a good start, but COSA Plus, if you want to look into it, but then it's going to be more your home projects that you're going to want to focus on. If you want help with that through myself and through apprenticeship and a mentorship, then, like I said, join CyberHub, which is our free community on School. Drop me a message if there is something you want to do, then you can just let me know. So Sachin, in my role as incident analyst, I work extensively with multiple SIEM platforms like Logpoint, 40SIEM, Logarithm to analyze events. Responsibilities include in-depth incident analysis, threat hunting, escalating security incidents to high-level teams. Also involved in alerts. You've done a lot then, creating use cases. Yeah, you're doing. Basically, I would consider you're more kind of level 2, maybe more kind of senior analyst style roles. You're performing threat hunting. I would probably have is this something that you're enjoying at the moment, or you're just thinking, you're just forward thinking and thinking where you want to move into? Because if you don't want to go into the kind of analyst role, I probably wouldn't go more towards the senior, because you said that you're escalating to a senior. Like, what are those senior analysts doing that maybe you're not doing? Is that something that you want to do? Do you want to go, like I said, into your more engineering? Like, you've got some really good experience. You're basically doing instant response already by what you've mentioned. Escalating. So are you actually doing things like containment, recovery, like eradication, or is it managed service company where you're kind of escalating? Because sometimes that can be good experience going from a managed security service company into maybe like an internal security operations center. Harvey, what do you do personally outside of your job to continue your learning? Or also, what was the name of the podcast that you mentioned? So outside of my job then, so I obviously do this, which is empirical training. So this is a good way for me to kind of keep learning. I also run my own YouTube channel as well. So I'm always kind of doing labs related to the YouTube channel. Now, a lot of the content I do try to tailor it towards beginners to help beginners learn, but I also do learn a lot from this as well. But in terms of trying to stay up to date, then it'll usually be the home project. So let's say that there's maybe like a new tool that has come out and I wouldn't want to look into it. I learn most just by trying to set it up. So containers, for example. So I know containers have been out for a while, but it's not something I've really had much experience with. I tried to set up a container using Docker and creating Docker files. Basically, more hands-on stuff is how I mostly learn to continue to learn. But I also try to take breaks from it as well. Like I'm not always doing cybersecurity stuff. I think it's one of the things that people think that you've got to be doing it all the time. Personally, for me, like I'm running empirical training, which is the Cybersecurity Academy. I'm working my day job as well. I don't always have as much time to do extra learning as I would like, but I am currently doing a certification, SANS certification, SANS GIR. So I don't do certifications that often, but when I do them, I've got to make sure that they're ones that I really think I'm going to get some value from. So I'm currently doing this one here. So it's kind of a more kind of instant response, Windows and Linux, Mac OS and Docker's, cloud attack and response. So I do certifications as well, but not that often. Most of what I learn is usually day-to-day in work. I do try to take a break after doing empirical training. I don't really, and like my YouTube channel, I don't consider it work, but I guess you could see it is as well. It's something that I really enjoy doing outside. So that also helps me stay up to date. So yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question that well. You get some people that are like fully into it, they'll finish work and they're always doing cybersecurity. I'm probably like in the middle where I like taking breaks from it. I like doing other stuff outside of cybersecurity. Like it's always been made out to be like, oh, you've got to stay up to date. If you don't, you'll be left behind. But you tend to just generally stay up to date in work because the company that you work for has to stay up to date. So that you can always find a lot of knowledge that way. But if you want the main takeaway, it would be some certifications, but mostly like building my own labs at home is probably the best way. What was the podcast you mentioned? So it's called Black Hills Information Security. Black Hills Information Security Podcast. This is a really good one. They do weekly news roundups. It's called Talking About News, but talking about InfoSec news. But if you type in Black Hills Information Security, it'll come up. Darknet Diaries is a really good one. It's not always the kind of technical like news stories, but they are like sometimes they are, but then other times they're maybe kind of more your kind of general privacy stories. But they're really, really good, don't get me wrong. But if you want more like weekly news, probably your Black Hills Information Security is going to be the one that will help you keep up to date. Poor Andrew, don't think you're going to get some gaming time today. Yeah, no. I've got too many good questions to answer. I need more clarity on threat intelligence analyst. What difference would you have between a cybersecurity analyst? Because I'd like to specialize into threat intelligence. That's a really good question. So often in a security operations center, You will have your cybersecurity analyst and your threat analyst, and sometimes those roles can mix together. I would say with a threat intelligence analyst, their main focus is gathering the intelligence for the company. So let's say that you are working for a company in the medical sector. Your main goal is to find out intelligence related to what threat actors are trying to do against the company that you're working for in that industry. And the threat intelligence analyst will use maybe like dark web forums. Maybe you can go into places like Telegram to try and speak with actual threat actors, for example, to try and gather intelligence. They also use threat intelligence platforms. So they're kind of more you're like gathering information. Whereas the cybersecurity analyst then would be the one that is responding to the alerts based on the intelligence. But they do often cross over. So I would say that your threat intelligence analyst, their goal is to try and understand more about threat actors that are targeting the companies that you're working for. Whereas your SOC analysts would be the ones that are responding to the alerts. And often those alerts do come from the threat intelligence that the threat analysts will get. Yeah, they are often similar style roles, but usually the threat intelligence analyst often isn't the one that's doing all of the cases and all of the alerts. They're often doing more of the like this one here, it says conduct activities across the intelligence life cycle to get relevant intelligence. So they'll have their own process to gather as much intelligence as they can. As you can see, research indicators of compromise, understanding. So this is basically hackers, tactics, techniques, and procedures. So the type of things that they're doing, understanding the attack infrastructure, putting countermeasures in place, trying to find new sources of intelligence. So sometimes these can cross over into the role of a cybersecurity analyst, but often they usually are more dedicated. It depends on the company and how big they are. Like a SOC analyst could be doing some of this threat intelligence type of stuff. That's why I would say the main difference is though is imagine the SOC analyst being your one that is responding to the alerts, and then the threat intelligence analyst is the one that is trying to gather the intelligence to actually help build out meaningful alerts that the SOC will actually respond to. Hope that answers your question, because that can be a bit confusing sometimes. Nice. How do you go about inquiring about help getting a job? Is it a service you offer? Yeah, that is exactly what we offer. Is the full apprenticeship. I'll drop a link in here. So school.com/cybersec. And Yo Edler, if you message me on there, we can jump on a call. We can chat through a plan for you. There's no commitment to the call. The call is completely free. And we can chat through if what my company and we offer, which is our apprenticeship, which is like a full mentorship to help you get the skills and home projects that you need. How do I inquire about help getting a job? Yeah, so we also help with all of that as well. So setting up your resume, doing one-on-one calls with interviews. You'll get assigned a mentor who'll work with you directly. We do WhatsApp support as well. So if you need support out of hours, we do one-to-one calls. So yeah, it's definitely something that we offer, and not just that we offer as well. We have helped people land jobs through this apprenticeship as well. So it's not just something that we offer; it's something that has been successful, which has been really cool. Bros, over there. Go back to YouTube. Sashin, I just quit my job right now as I'm focused on my study. Yes, is it man? No TOI, so Evelyn. So you quit your cybersecurity job to go and study cybersecurity to then try and get a cybersecurity job. Is that what you're saying? What made you quit then? Like, why? I'm a bit confused. Why you quit the job in the first place? If you had the cybersecurity job, is what are you trying to like? What do you want? Like, you're asking what you should do next, but I'm a little bit confused by your current situation. So you're not working in the SOC anymore. you're working as a student, or did you just do an internship that was temporary? Also, where you located as well, Sashin, out of interest, because that might help. Bro, CSA cert, is it worth a sock? I've never heard of that, to be honest. I'll have to Google it. CSA, cybersecurity certification. I've never heard of them, to be honest. Or EC Council, they're the one that do the, what's it called, the hacker one. EC Council, certified ethical hacker. So I know that, yeah, they've got the certified ethical hacker, which is quite a popular course. EC. The main thing is just to see what they teach you, to be honest. EC Council, CSA. There's so many certifications out there now, to be honest. It's hard to know which ones are good or not, but it's all going to come down to what they actually teach you. So let's have a course info. What you learn: comprehensive knowledge of SOC, develop a foundation understanding of security threats, understanding log management, SIEM, learn widely used plan, triaging. It sounds very similar to CompTIA Security Plus. It might be probably more like CompTIA CYSA Plus. Quite hands-on experience in malware techniques. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably security operations. Like, it's got good stuff. Like, most of the certifications are teaching this, like, major the same thing anyway. The main thing is the hands-on experience. Like it's all well and good. It's good to learn this. Yeah, it looks pretty good, to be fair, but it's probably not much difference to CYSA Plus. How much does it cost? What AI skills will you learn? Improve traditional SOC operations, enhance SIEM systems. Yeah, like it does. It's doing everything that a certification should do. So it doesn't look too bad, to be fair. I'd be interested to know how much it costs. But like I said, the main thing is going to be the hands-on experience. They do say here, so develop SIEM dashboards, acquire hands-on experience in malware tech. So I'd be interested to know how they do this. Like the way that we do it is that we do have a pre-built lab, but we do like you to build your own labs as well, so that when you go into interviews, you can say that you built your own labs. But yeah, from this, everything that it's teaching you sounds pretty good, to be honest. But I would say make sure that it's got some good hands-on experience in there, and you're probably still going to need to do your own hands-on labs, so like the things that we show. You're probably going to so that will probably take you to, yeah, that's going to teach you some good skills. You're probably going to still need to do a good amount of home projects with that as well. So do keep that in mind. It looks pretty good. Actually, another good thing is to check how many jobs are actually CSA certification jobs. Cybersecurity. Yeah, have a look at what jobs are actually asking for it as well, because to be honest, all certifications really do is get you interviews, and then after that, then it's going to be your home projects that will help you land the job. So if we go to Indeed, for example, CSA, EC Council, EC Council. EC Council, Incident Handling. EC Council certified SOC analyst jobs. Yeah, so what you want to do, just have a look if there's jobs that are asking for it, because if you go and get a certification that the jobs aren't even be asking for, then it might not be too helpful. Yeah, I'd have a look. Like the content looks pretty good. So session on YouTube. What certificate? Like I work night shift. My colleague is in the morning, so I couldn't manage time for my bachelor. I see. We get way less pay. I'm transitioning from my role to a better balance my bachelor's degree and pivot into offensive security. Yeah, managing high pressure SOC night shifts with morning classes has become unsustainable. Yeah, I can imagine that being unsustainable. Okay, you want to go into penetration testing? Yeah, that's fair enough. Um, yeah, just keep with what you're doing then. Like focus on your bachelor's. If you want to go down the red team in penetration style role, then you're still going to want to do what I lay out on this pathway. But when in this part, pick a job role, just have a look at red teamer skills and what they're asking for. Look at different jobs for red teamer style roles. I will say one thing about penetration testing: it's not as easy to get into, but you've already got some experience in the security operations center, so um, you may you may find some good roles for it. Um, so yeah, have a look at the different job descriptions. They'll tell you what they're actually looking for. But the like penetration testing roles, they don't come up that often from what I am aware of. And now I've seen that like they're usually combined with like your application security roles or more kind of your general red teamer roles rather than a dedicated penetration tester. But like I said, this is detailing some of the requirements. If that's the area that you want to go down, then yeah, focus on that and learning the skills for that. What's the future of level one SOC analyst considering the advances in AI? How much disruption are you seeing in the field because of AI? So there is definitely disruption, but like I've shown here, the security operations center is changing. A lot of the level one and level two general tasks are some of them are being automated, but what I'm seeing is that people coming in now need to focus more on senior roles and go for more senior style roles. And I know they ask for experience, but that's what we help with, is that you can get the experience from doing your home projects, from working with people in the industry, having mentors in the industry like myself and like others. And because of that, there is disruption. Yeah, companies are implementing these AI tools to be more efficient, but also at some point, there's going to be a breach, and I can guarantee there'll be a breach from these threat actor compromising these AI tools. And we're already seeing it with things like OpenClaw, for example. They have access to so many different parts of companies, so much sensitive information that there's going to be a breach at some point, and I wouldn't be surprised if companies start dialing back a little bit because they haven't secured it properly. Now, I don't think it's going to completely stop AI. I think it's going to continue. AI tools are going to get more efficient. They're going to get better, but there's still opportunities there in cybersecurity. I think. There's this one here. I talked about it in a recent YouTube video. Is an AI going to automate all of the roles? And again, I showed this slide. But it's learning the skills now. So there's just a new set of skills that you need to learn. So learning how to build the tools to make the job more efficient. This is what companies are looking for, to be able to, as a traditional analyst, perform the kind of traditional role, but also look to build out the tools to make the job more efficient. Learning how to protect and secure AI. It's like we're still going to need people to do this. This is still something that we need. And yeah, so I'm not seeing like massive disruption, but I know there's some companies that are looking to focus on implementing AI tools to perform your traditional SOC analyst roles. But then Vaughan, who also works for Empirical Training, is another mentor. He works for a company who are a bit skeptical about implementing these AI tools into all parts of security, and they're actually hiring for cybersecurity analysts. So to be honest, it depends on the company. I'm seeing disruption in terms of like the market is requiring a new set of skills, but I actually think this is a good thing because it opens up more opportunities. So I wouldn't worry about. I think a lot of people ask me this all the time. And they're just like, "Oh, there's not going to be any cybersecurity jobs ever again." I just can't see it getting to the place, not anytime soon, where AI is just going to be doing everything. Like I work in a security operations center, and we have some AI agents performing analysis, and it does make mistakes. But humans also make mistakes as well. So it all depends on what what the company, what risk appetite the company is willing to kind of give to AI. Do Are they willing to allow it to do everything? Well, it's going to be up to the company. But at some point, I'm going to see there's going to be a breach in relation to these AI tools having too much access to a lot of sensitive data, and then I think maybe companies are going to dial back a little bit and continue the kind of human workforce who know how to secure AI. Yeah, I'd rather learn skills that land me a job rather than just chasing certs. Can I DM you to inquire? Yeah, you can DM me on Instagram, but I will say it's easier so that link I sent you is to our school community. This is a free community. It's easier to message me in there. We can have a chat. But you can message me on Instagram as well. But I do find the messages sometimes get a bit lost in Instagram. So I've just posted the link in the channel again. Yeah, no, you're going to head out. Yeah, no worries. Does empirical training provide GRC apprenticeship and training? Not yet. We are working on something to kind of expand into more areas of cybersecurity. So keep an eye out for that. A big part of it is going to be a revamp of this, which is Cyber Hub, to kind of include different disciplines. And we are looking to move into other areas. The way that I work and the way that I've always liked to be is that I only want to be able to help in a certain area if I've personally done it myself. I like learning from people who've already done the things that I want to do. So the reason that we haven't gone into those areas like your DevSecOps, your GRC, is that none of us work in those areas. So I'd feel like a little bit of a cop out trying to teach something that I don't really know or I don't do on a daily basis. But now we are going to look at trying to partner with others who have that experience, and we will look into hopefully at some point trying to provide that type of training. But our main focus is that of the kind of blue team defense, because it's something that I do on a daily basis. It's something that we all do, and because of that, we feel a lot more comfortable. Like I've been doing this for 10 years, so I feel much more comfortable being able to help people now. I feel much less like an imposter, even though I do still sometimes feel like an imposter trying to teach people, even though it's something that I've done for so long. So that's why I would find it hard to go into GRC myself. But it is something that the company Empirical Trading, we are looking into, because we do get a lot of questions about it. But there's always something new popping up. Doesn't that mean always staying up to date? Yeah, that's why I love cybersecurity, because of that reason. There's always something new to learn. Does it make it tiring? Probably, yeah, sometimes. But at the same time, I love it, so I don't always find it that tiring. So, and you can't always know everything. Like, there's always stuff that I miss. For example, like I might not pick up on something, but somebody in work has told me about it. I've got a WhatsApp channel with people that I actually worked with 10 years ago. They're very good at keeping me up to date. But the good thing about having to always stay up to date is that there's always going to be opportunities. And because of that, if you can stay up to date, which isn't that hard to do, generally, then you'll be fine. What would you say is the most valuable cert to have in general? Oh, that's a good question. Probably CompTIA Security Plus. It seems to be one, especially in the US, that jobs just ask it as a minimum. I don't think the content is even that special, to be honest. It's quite general. It's not tailored towards any job. But in terms of fundamentals, it's probably one of the best. And in terms of the amount of jobs that ask for it as well. Oh yeah, so Robbie mentioned about a roadmap quiz feature potentially coming soon. Care to comment? So yeah, so that actually leans into what I mentioned about the different disciplines that we're looking to kind of move into. We're looking at revamping. So to be honest, this cyber hub community, it's served its purpose. Like, it's a great place to communicate with us. It's got some really good projects in here, but we want to make it better. We want our free stuff to be much better. And whereas that's what I mean, we're going to start to look into different disciplines. And how it will be is that when you come into this free community, there'll be there'll be more. It will be a quiz, but it's also going to be this kind of AI roadmap tool that is going to ask you questions. It's going to quiz you a little bit on your current knowledge, and it's going to help you go down the pathway that it thinks is most suitable for you. Now, of course, you don't have to go down this pathway. You can always decide, like, maybe it's pushed you down GRC because of the questions that it's asked. It's going to ask about your background, help you understand what maybe some of the skills that you've got now from your current job can be used in a cybersecurity role. But it's going to try to categorize that for you, and then we're hoping then to be able to branch out from there into those different disciplines. So yeah, that's definitely coming soon. It's something Robbie is working on. He is definitely driving that project, but it's going to fit in here. And like I said, this free community is needed updating for a while. We always like to stay up to date where we can. So that is something that we're looking into. And then from there, then each discipline is going to have its kind of own career roadmap. And yeah, I think that's all I can really share at the moment, but that's the idea, and that's what we're putting into practice, and we're actually building now. So keep an eye on CyberHub. So that's school.com/cybersec. It's our free community. Probably one of the best places to keep in contact with us. There's 13,200 other members in here. Like I said, we've got classrooms, we've got some good projects in here. We've got a cybersecurity foundations course. We're hosting Professor Mess's Security Plus and Network Plus content. So some good stuff in here, but we just want to make it even better. We can't see anything. Okay, can you not see? Can you see my screen? It's coming up for me on there. I guess that's what sets empirical training apart from others instead of just selling courses. Yeah, I appreciate that, Hassan. Very kind words. That's what we're trying to do. Courses obviously are great with the knowledge that you get, but we don't feel comfortable doing things that we haven't done. And what we want to connect you with is, well, us and people in the industry. And anytime that something new happens, any new information, any new tools, I'm usually post about it in either CyberHub. So CyberHub is our free community. SOC Plus, as Simon is part of, this is our full apprenticeship. This is where you'll get the one-on-one with your mentor. You get access to group sessions. This is where you'll be able to work through our pre-built lab that has live attack data in it. But like I said, there's a full mentorship and a full apprenticeship. So you will actually get to say that you've worked for empirical training. You'll be able to put us down as references on your LinkedIn. And yeah, Hassan, exactly that. We didn't want to just create a course. We wanted to turn it into something, well, to be honest, something that could actually help you get a job. I struggle with a little bit the part where I can't completely guarantee anyone to get a job, unfortunately, because of the way the job market, how companies are when it comes to hiring. But what I can guarantee is that we'll give you the exact most up-to-date skills, and we'll put you in the best position possible to actually be in a position where you can feel more confident to go for that job. And we have helped people land jobs as well, so it's not like we can't do it. We've clearly been able to help land people jobs without experience. But it is something I do struggle with at times, because I'd love to be able to place everybody into a role. Maybe one day I'll have a cybersecurity company myself and I'll be able to do that. But for the time being, yeah, I appreciate the kind words. It's not just the course, it's definitely much more than that. Will this help me with GRC domain? No, not at the moment. We definitely focus just on your blue team and start role. Joined a bit late. The classroom is free. Yeah, this one isn't. Sorry, this one is our mentorship. This one is free. This community here, cyberhubschool.com/cybersec. They can see it was just small in some places. It makes sense. I have a problem with WhatsApp chat history. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Seeker W1, can you try my malware? Can you try my malware? What do you want me to do with your malware? What kind of malware have you created? You're probably better off using malware sandboxes instead of asking people to run it for you, because they're probably going to say no, because we work in cybersecurity. We're wary of executing anything, let alone somebody else's malware. But send me some details about it if you want. But yeah. Well, we come to the end. Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to play any of Ghost of Yotai, but that's fine, because I prefer answering the questions. Well, I don't know, I like gaming, but I do like answering the questions. I'm only joking. But yeah, thank you everyone. Really appreciate the really good questions, a lot of kind words. Yeah, like Harvey says, maybe just put it in a sandbox. There's less legal risk. If you start asking people to run it on their personal computers, you could end up in a bit of trouble. I'm not sure what the law is about writing your own malware these days. Is it? I think in the UK it's illegal. Am I right? I don't know if I've just made that up. Is writing malware in the UK illegal? If you access and change the contents file definition. This Computer Misuse Act. The offence carries this includes writing and creation of computer viruses, worms, trojans, and malware. I don't think it's the same in the US, though. I'm pretty sure from the Darknet Diaries podcast I was doing. So yeah, you do definitely have to be very careful. Because I guess if you are writing your own malware, like, what are you going to use it for? There's not many good purposes that you're going to be using your malware for. Europe is very different. You can write it, you just can't provide it. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Company in Netherlands, if I recall, is famous about it. Yeah, Harvey, I definitely agree with you. But Harvey, yeah, thank you for you as well. I got some really good questions and conversation from yourself and everybody else that's been in here. Do these every week. Normally I try to do them. Yeah, Simon, thank you for tonight. I enjoyed the input, hearing from others where they are on their journey into cybersecurity. Right back to the studies I go. Yeah, nice one, Simon. Thanks again for being part of our apprenticeship. I look forward to continue working with you. Anybody else, if you are looking, you're interested in maybe working with myself to get into cybersecurity, links in the description on YouTube, or it's on our main page if you're on Instagram. Yeah, we do these every week, these Q&A sessions. So it's a good place to come and ask me questions. It's usually me that will do it on 8 p.m. UK, but if for any reason I'm not available, then you might also get Robbie or Vaughan as well. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. We're come to the end of the stream now, but appreciate it. Everybody's off back to their studies, so good luck to you all. I know there are some of you that were doing your Security Plus next week. Harvey, good luck with the exam prep. Simon, good luck with the kind of apprenticeship that you're doing with us. If anybody needs any help, good place to get in contact with us for free, school.com/cybersec. And yeah, thanks everyone. I'll see you next week.